I did a version of this for my Sprinkles at the Cinema channel, and I was kind of dared to do an all Brody version for this channel. Thanks to Drew from Drew's Movie Club for that challenge, and thanks to Real Talk Yorkshire, Darren, for the original 7 questions. My apologies if you can hear my ceiling fan, but we are going through a March heat wave here in Northern California, so I kind of have no choice. Question number 1 was the first movie you remember seeing that made you fall in love with films. So I'm adapting that to be the film that made me decide to watch all of Adrien Brody's films. And that is Midnight in Paris. I had already seen The Pianist. I had already seen Hollywoodland. And this was my third. And I was just so enamored with his performance as Salvador Dali that I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch all this guy's stuff. And I did. The second question is the movie that has been in your collection the longest. And for the Adrien Brody category, that is The Pianist. I owned this for several years before I had even seen another of his films, much less owned one. Question 3 is a film you didn't like at first, but now you do. Now, I won't say I didn't like it, but I didn't quite absorb Asteroid City on my first go-around. But what changed my mind, actually, are some YouTube videos. People did video essays explaining various aspects of the film. And so I watched a few of those, and then I rewatched the film, and I loved it. So, you see that, my fellow movie YouTubers? We can make a difference. The next one is a movie that's not all that well known, but has a great soundtrack. For my other channel, I actually picked The Singing Detective, which Adrien's also in, but I thought I'd pick a different answer this time. And so I'm gonna go with Bullitt. Bullitt has a very eclectic soundtrack. There's, classical, there's hip hop, there's all kinds of stuff. So it's a really interesting mix, and it works. A remake you prefer to the original. Adrien's only been in a handful of remakes, like he was in Jailbreakers, he was in Angels in the Outfield, and the big one, King Kong, the Peter Jackson remake from 2005. The original King Kong from 1933 is what made Peter Jackson become a filmmaker. So he had kind of been waiting his whole life to do this. There's nothing wrong with this original, and as you can see, I own it, but it's just, the director of The Lord of the Rings and my favorite actor doing a movie together. I mean, hello. And next we have a movie that scares you. Now, Adrien's done actual horror, like the limited series Chapelwaite and the movies Giallo, and arguably Splice. That's more of a sci-fi horror combo kind of thing. But the one that disturbs me the most is The Experiment. I think what makes The Experiment so scary to me is that it's not supernatural. It's actual humans being horrible to each other because one group gets a little bit of power and it just goes to their heads. So that's scarier to me than anything fake. The 7th and final question is a movie that makes you hungry. And I considered Restaurant, obviously. There's a lot of kitchen scenes, dialogue about food, etc. But ultimately, I went with 6 Ways to Sunday. There's a scene where Deborah Harry's character is making pancakes for Harry and Arnie, who are played by Norman Reedus and Adrien, respectively. And they're talking about serious matters over the pancakes. But then at the end, Arnie just kind of blurts out,
"Yo, these pancakes is marvelous."
And it makes me want pancakes. So that's my all Adrien Brody version of the 7 questions for physical media collectors that is floating around YouTube. So if you'd like to see my original, I'll put it up here. And if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, do so right there. And I will see you next time. Take care.